Hello, viewers. I'm Apostle Dr. Bright Onyowak. This is OLED TV, and this day we have a wonderful guest in our midst in the studio, and we'll be talking about the Cameroon election, presidential election that was just concluded a few days ago. And this time, I would like to introduce this wonderful guest to you, as we will have interaction with him. Good day. Let's meet you, sir.
Well, my name is Dr. Ibe Sanford OCMM. I'm from Okwa West local government, and I'm an academia. I want to thank OLED Television for giving me the space to have interaction with you today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We are pleased to have you in our studio.
It's okay. It's okay.
Dr. Ibe Ememe, a few days ago, Cameroon government concluded their election, presidential election, and Paul Biya was declared the winner of the election, having defeated Isha Chiroma Bakare, his opponent. And this victory returned Paul Biya to 8 terms in office as the president. Paul Biya is 92 years old, and obviously the oldest president in the whole world. Dr. Ibe, we would like to find out from you, how do you see this story?
Well, thank you. One is a very embarrassing story, because closely Paul Biya will have been older than Cameroon.
Yes.
So for him to have been there for 8 terms and 92 years, this is an issue. And if you look at it holistically, Cameroon hasn't been doing well, although they are faced with a lot of political challenges, where there is separation or struggle for those who want to be the English speaking and those who want to be francophone. So a long time there have been internal crisis. I think this crisis gave way for him to maintain his hold in the country, because if there are political stability, I don't think he will have continued to maneuver his people to be in power for this long period of time. And coming to power at this time, 92 years for another 7 years, that's an embarrassment, and it's an indictment on the part of Africa, because we talk about the underdevelopment of Africa by the external bodies, which we call partly an imperialistic tendencies, whereby the hands outside Africa continue to hold Africa down. For Paul Biya to be there, it is France that kept him. For Paul Biya to be there are interests he's maintaining. Otherwise, there has no need to be in power. And that is also an idea to tell you that Africans have no authority, have no power to choose their leaders. We are struggling on that. There is no person that emerge as a president of any African nation that Africans or the people of that country can say, we put him there. It hasn't been possible. But on the outside, you think you did so. But within, there were external powers who had interests and want those interests to be protected. They bring home, choose, they decide. If they cannot do it through the ballot, they use military coup, dictator, all that to do that. You see what happened in some countries like Burkina Faso, even in most other countries. It is just of recent that Africans are beginning to rise from their slumber. And that has shown in countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Sudan, where the people on their own is beginning to take their destiny to their hands and liberating themselves from the existing colonial and colonial masters into what a state where they have a stake in. Today, Burkina Faso is liberating, having an interface with China, with Russia, where the people of the country are the one choosing and writing what they want from these people. But in the past, our elders, who are also still in power till today, were just deceived to sign a treaty whereby they gave out nations to individuals. That's a very serious problem. So for Biya getting back to the throne, or to becoming a president for the 7th, 8th time, is an indictment. And if you look at the country, 80% or 90% of the leadership are just elderly people. It's about 85 years. There is no elderly man, there's no young person in the government. Just those that he started with close to 40, 45 years ago. So it is not a welcome development for us in Africa. It is an indictment. So I feel so bad about it.
Do you think this story has any influence in Nigeria?
Yeah, the story has influence in Nigeria. The Nigeria also have influence into the country. It's not they don't influence Nigeria, we influence them. Because you see the fight in Nigeria where we have some, I call it local political differences. Some people talking about IPOB, separation of power, the civil war. You know, it's being replicated in Cameroon, for instance. They're also fighting, those who are close to this other part are also fighting to be Anglophone. They want to have the separate country in that from the other country. So Nigerian is influencing them. And you find that also for the past few, almost 10 years now, Nigerians have always brought leaders who are also very old, who are also old, you know, biologically old, but politically young. You know, officially young. Some of them claim years that are not exactly theirs. Buhari came in with an age, who has been a head of state. He came back, insists that he wants to be a president, and he came back to power. Old man with old friends and old hands. The same thing happened with the recent challenge we have now. A president we also have is an elderly president. This particular thing is influencing our neighbors to do otherwise, you know, to follow suit, except in rare cases like I mentioned to you, Mali and Burkina Faso. All rebranding the economy. The economy is setting, and there is hope for the country.
Let's flash our mind back to 30, 40 years ago, when Nigerian governments were controlled by youths, presidents of about 32 years, 35, 38, and today we have a president of about 70s and 80s and all that. What do you think that happened? Why this shift from the youth to the old?
You call old, we are still youth. Those people that took power at the age of 29, 35, someone like Gowon and the rest of them, in their mind they still think they are youth. It is only us that tell them that you are not youth. They say it's not true. So they have just gotten there, and the quest for power have overrun them. And the Nigerians as a state, or Africans as a state, are not really doing the bits, because these people introduce things like religion and ethnic differences and use it to stay in power. Having been in power, they found out our weak points, our weaknesses, and you use it to divide us. So it is difficult for us to even realize that these people have been in power for as many years as possible. The battle is there all over the Africa. So they use religion to divide you. They use ethnicity to divide us. They use several things to make us not to come together, and in that lacuna, they continue to lead. It is until Africans find out that whether you're Christian or Muslim, whether you're Igbo or Yoruba, if the economy is not working, everybody will be affected. If the place is not peaceful, everybody must be accepted. So we must come together and ask, why do we put this issue well? Yes, electricity hasn't been stable. Even in those days you are mentioning, power was stable. There were no generators, second generators supporting power. But today, there's no, if you tell someone that electricity should be stable in Nigeria, they can't believe it. Because over time, what we are supposed to do, we have not been doing it. So Africans must rise and ask themselves question of why must we remain underdeveloped up till today? Why must we produce raw materials in Africa and we do not have price for those raw materials? Why do we produce crude and sell it as a one single product, and the this crude goes abroad and come back to us as 10 different products, and we are buying them? Let me give you an example. In China, before China gets to where they were, they closed importation. 15 million Chinese died when China was struggling to regain itself, and will not sell to you. Every China eats and grow what is made in China. Those who refuse to obey this law paid for it. And at that point, like you said, necessity becoming the mother of inventions, Chinese begin to find way to adapt to what they have. And today, China is a world power, producing for itself over 1.3 billion people in China, feeding Chinese and feeding the world. Where is Africa? What is it that we lack that we will remain a second-class citizens in the world? What is it that we have that will cause us to be third-class citizens in this community of nations? What is the problem? Everything we need, even without God, is available, because God gave us rain, God gave us vegetation, God gave us everything we need to do, to have, to become greater than any nation. But what is the problem? Leadership problem. Leadership problem. And two, our people are also not conscious of what they want. They don't even believe that they can have good life. God cannot give you good life, sorry, because good life is available to you. It's a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice. So why is Africans continue to allow themselves to be used by these old cargoes, I call them like that? So they know what the problem is. They give you stipends and ask you to hold on. Next time will be your turn. Then everybody's waiting. If this person finishes, the next turn will be my turn. I'll go and chop. Nobody is being holistically talking about the way out, so that Africa, Nigeria, and their neighbors will come out from this political logima we are into.
Do you in any way think that the old age of these people in any way affect the development of it?
Age affects. Those people who run spirits of those days cannot do so now. When you have the elderly is in power, health challenges are there.
Yes.
Sometimes maybe you didn't see it on the social media. Sorry, I'm mentioning it here. A certain president of a country went to take a national salute. While he was taking the salute, he breathed on his trousers. That is an elderly man.
Yes.
That's a sick president. Why do you keep him there? So for you to wee on your clothes means that the brain is not connecting with the body. This is a health issue. Means that he cannot be as smart, as fast that he should be. You don't keep those people there. And the elderly people take time to make decisions. And because they take time to make decisions, a decision that should be prompt and going, they will delay it. And based on this lacuna or space, other people can hijack it and turn it against the goodwill of the people. A lot of things are involved. When the elderly are in power, are there, succession problem comes in.
Yes.
Everybody is trying to please them in order to succeed them. And what they're supposed to do, they cannot do. So everybody is just saying, yes, sir, yes, I'm loyal, hoping to succeed the elderly persons. So it is never a good one. And two, there's a generation difference. He has overgrown a generation. You know, every 10 years is a generation. For instance, a man who is 70 or 90 years cannot understand the problems of youth of 20. Youth are 30. Even his grandchildren are not even 30 years. Some of them, their grandchildren should be about 40, 50 years, for instance. So generation gap is there. They cannot understand it. Even what's supposed to be used this time to enhance development, they will not be able to understand it. So many things are there. And the ideas you use in solving problems in 1970, in 1980, such ideas cannot solve problems today.
No longer there now.
So what are we doing there? They're not against anybody being a president, but I'm saying that by age, by health, by exposure, by time, they should rest and raise new generation of leadership. And that will be fine. They should play the advisory role, not being there and holding Africa to ransom. So that's part of the challenge I see.
It's all right. That has also answered the next question, because what I wanted to tell you to give us your own advice.
Okay.
Considering the whole situation, the elderly men hijacking power when there are youths in the country that are capable enough to do the work.
Elderly people resist change. They cannot change because they said in those days, this is how you used to do it. So that is even a minus. And they cannot trust you today, who is 40, 50, 60. They still consider you as a baby. You don't have an idea. Because in those days, it was like this. So they cannot incline to the, the fundamental and the recent changes. So that is another problem. So for me, advising us is that this, like I'm talking to the audience now, we must understand that we have to rise. Above all, the elderly are few in number. The number, if you look at the population graphic, you see that they are few.
Yes.
Those who are 90 years to 100 years now, they are few. Those who are 80 to 100 years, also very few. The majority is on the youth and the middle class, middle age adults. So what is the problem? So are we going to continue to allow these elderly people to use us? The time is, the answer is no. Rise. In Nigeria, we must rise and make sure that the right things are done. The right people are there. A president that is falling from left, from center, cannot be a better function president. So everywhere you are listening to me, there is need to make changes. When a father gets old, he hand over to his children. Yes, and while the father is alive, you see his sons succeeding him, and he will play advisory roles, and that will be a very good transition while he was alive, or while he's alive. Not only when he dies, then the children come, they don't know where to start. Africa, Nigeria, wherever you are, we must work hard and ensure that the right people, the youth, the young and healthy persons takes over powers in Africa and restore Africa. Example is all over the place. Burkina Faso is just recovering after many years of redundancy because the youth also come on board. So what is the problem? And the cost of maintaining elderly people is also enormous.
Yes.
The cost of maintaining them, they need house help, they need this, they need that. Even to pee, an elderly man needs someone to hold his whatever to pee. So the cost of maintaining them is a problem. Africans, you must rise and face Africa and raise Africa. If we will make the mistake and said Africa was hijacked when we were not born, Africa was hijacked when we are kids, are we still kids today? What effort are you doing to rescue Africa? What effort are you doing to ensure that Africa stands and move away from humiliation? Everybody runs away from Africa, especially in Nigeria and some other countries. Where do you want to go to? Do you want to go to Europe? Go to Europe. How many other people are presidents there? No. Look at even in America, the last guy that just resigned. Is it before this guy came on board? The last president before Trump. Yeah. He just resigned because they find that he on head ground. He gave up. But in Nigeria, nobody wants to go because that position is not only for the individual, it's for the community, it's for friends, it's for well-wishers, whether he's doing well or not. His tribesmen want him to be there, his church members or religious group want him to be there. But he has to be there. Whether he's doing well or not, he has to be there. We are paying dearly for it. Underdevelopment, poverty, hunger, starvation, backwardness is the result of it all. So nobody should just pretend that it's not hitting him. Africa must move away and let those whom the cap fit to wear it.
Fellow viewers, you've just listened and watched Dr. Sanford Ibememe talk sense into every one of us. And the truth about the whole thing is that you can't compare an aged man with the youth. There are a lot of differences when the youth are doing something and when the elderly men are doing it. You can't compare. There is the wide gap. So the youth in Africa, please let us rise and take over the power that belongs to the youth. I remember years back, the presidents of Nigeria, you will see them 32, 35, 40. Now watch what happened. The immediate past president, Buhari, we all know, was once a president in the 1970s.
Once a head of state.
Once a head of state. Yeah,
okay.
He was called a head of state.
Military head of state.
Military head of state.
Came back as a president.
And now came back at his age.
At his age.
Now, follow the story. You find out that almost all the presidents that we have had in the recent time were once leaders in the past, when they were young, and they still seize the power, refusing to surrender
with the accumulated fund they had, seize power, keep power, and want to transfer to their kids. That's the issue. So how long can we go? And it's clear that the elderly people are limited to innovations. So some things we are doing, they don't even understand it. They say you people as children, go away from here. So like you are closing, it's a very important issue that every African must challenge himself. And also do our best to support our brothers in Cameroon. They call it the Azobanas or something. The war they are fighting there. The government is keeping all of them down, clearing villages, killing and maiming people. So we have to do our best to encourage those people to keep moving on until victory is achieved. And on our own part, elections are coming. If you ask me to, I will tell you that the issue, that what I am also talking about, beyond what it is, democracy, has it worked in Nigeria? Nigeria cannot survive under democracy. Maybe next edition we'll talk about it. Nigeria needs to be ruled by the virtue of totalitarian government, where discipline and decisiveness will fix Nigerians together. Have you been able to charge anybody for corruption in this country?
No. Because those that are supposed to charge them for corruption are corrupted.
Are corrupted. And they make laws that protects the rich against corruption and kill the poor who just stole 1,000 naira. So we are the one holding ourselves from progressing, not God Almighty, not prayers at all. We prayed enough. We prayed enough in every aspect, but we must call ourselves to self-realization. So who are we? Who am I? You. Then what purpose are you feeling? Their kids, you can't feed them with all your efforts. So are you not working hard? Is it a crime that you should not live a good life? And in those days when we were growing, life was good. You buy geisha, then you want to go for this, one that. Where are we today? Why is the good life lost? Only found in the household of the rich. Why should we be rich as well? But it's a crime to be rich, if you don't mind. So thank you very much, man.
Thank you, sir. We are pleased to have you in our studio, to Dr. Stanford Ibememe. I think we have a wonderful day with him, and all that he has said made sense. I want to encourage us, of course, especially the youth. Please let us rise and do the needful, as God will help us to achieve. May you be blessed